I'm going to share with you a couple of things that aren't to do with vendor paid advertising. Because I actually think that 90% of what I just spoke about, you've sort of got the drift of, that maybe there's a few templates, maybe there's a few visuals, maybe there's a few words that you're able to incorporate into your listing presentations. But for me, I actually want to stress to you that at the end of the day, if you ask me, after 8 years of talking to agents that are writing $1 million a year and over, what to me is the most important thing is they do important things. Just because you do something really well that's unimportant doesn't make it important. Something unimportant done well does not make it important. And I actually think there's only like about 5 or 6 things that you need to do in your life really well to have a great life. I myself, many of you know, I joined News Limited, or Courier Cumberland in 2004, and that was a great year. You know, we were living in Forbes Street, Newtown. We were having a fantastic time. Madeline, my first daughter, was born then. 2005 was a great year as well. I got a really great bonus that year, and I was able to buy an investment property. 2006 was a pretty shit year. In March, I got sick and I got diagnosed with cancer. And it got worse throughout the year because I wasn't responding, and they basically said that they were going to try and move from curative to management. And for those of you that understand how cancer works, management basically is that it's prolonging life. It's not going to get better because it had been in my immune system too long. It had spread. 2007 was such a better year because I'd been accepted on a new medication that Roche had produced. And I was actually not the placebo, I was actually in a double-blind study. I was actually getting the real stuff, and I could feel it. And the scan started to come through positive, and I was so happy. 2008 was, you know, a sensational year because my doctors basically said that it appeared that rituximab, together with the chemo and the radio, had actually worked. And I've got to tell you that my life is always going to be divided into 2 chapters, before the clinical trial and after the clinical trial. And the reason why, it's very simple. Do you know that for all my life, I actually had no value on days? But now I've realized that time is a non-renewable resource. I also realized that now that there is not an endless number of tomorrows. And I can tell you that the average person that I meet, family included, friends included, actually believe that there's no expiry date. And what they do is they actually hold back their best version of themselves for a later day. It's like, I'll go first gear, second gear. But one of the things that you learn is that when you're given a bad diagnosis and told that potentially that this is the day that it all ends, you start putting a high value on the day. People think I'm weird that I actually have counted how many days I've got left to live. I think I'm going to live to my mid-80s. And I've got about 14,000 days left. And I've lived like about 15,000 days. And those 14,000 days that remain are not about getting through the day. It's about getting out of the day.